Hey guys, MG for Fun here with a EDH deck tech. Now that I have a better camera, I'm going to be re-uploading. This is Animar. He is a one for a blue, a red, and a green, and he has protection from white and black. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Animar. Soul of Elements. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less for each 1/1 counter on Animar. And then we'll go over the land base. For basics, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 forests. Then we have 1, 2, 3 mountains. Then we have 1, 2, all these are foil by the way, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 islands. And then we've got a Sulphur Falls. Come on, focus. There we go. A Sulphur Falls, a Rootbound Crag, and a Hinterland Harbor. I've got a City of Brass. Command Tower, obviously. Exotic Orchard. Reflecting Pool. And Gemstone Caverns. Now for colorless lands, we have a Mystifying Maze, a Strip Mine, a Railing Quarry Tower. And now we have a Trinket Mage package that I'm going to go over. Trinket Mage comes into play, search your library for a artifact card with a converted mana cost of 1 or less, reveal that card if you do, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. Trinket Mage. Fifth Dawn, I think. Anyways, so yeah, Trinket Mage. For things that we can search out with Trinket Mage, we've got Great Furnace. It's an artifact land. It's the red one. I need the green one, actually. And we've got Seat of the Synod. It's the blue one. Focus. Thank you. We've got Lotus Petal. Soul Ring from Revise. Citisizsm Divining Top. Okay, and that covers the little Trinket Mage package here. And then other useful things we've got in here. I'm going to go over the creatures last, just so everybody knows. Cloudstone Curio, because this is a creature-based deck. Actually, let's go over this. Whenever a non-artifact permanent comes into play under your control, you may return another permanent you control that shares a permanent type with that to its owner's hand. Say, just play a creature, bounce a creature back, play it again. Bounce another creature back, play that again. Just a cycle. Crystal Shard. This is probably the MVP of the deck. I'm subscribed to the Command Zone, and I was looking at his Animar, and he had Crystal Shard in there, and I was like, why would you have that? And then I read, pay a blue, tap it, return target creature to its owner's hand unless its controller pays 1. And it costs 3. It's really good. Then we have 4 counters in the deck. We've got just good old counter spell. I love the art on that. We've got the Hinder, counter target creature. Counter target spell, and you may choose to put it on the top or the bottom. Spell Crumple. Put it on the bottom after you counter it, and then put Spell Crumple on the bottom of your library. And Dissipate. Counter something and then exile. It's really good. And then other things. We're almost to creatures, by the way. We've got a Rancor. Target creature, enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. There's not very many ways to give Animar trample in this deck, so a 1-drop enchantment is great. We've got Ancient Grudge, destroy an artifact and then flash it back. fabricate to tutor out some of the many artifacts we have in here. I haven't showed you all of them yet. Mesium mortars. Overload it. Wipe all the field. Birthing pod. This card, I made this deck so it goes converted mana cost up and down. So I always have something to pod for. Like I even have an 11 drop in here. Birthing pod, sack a creature, search your library for a creature with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost, and put that into the battlefield. It's really good. Reforge of the Soul. It has Miracle. Each player discards his or her hand and draws 7 cards. I a lot of times have problems with the whole, cards things. And it's my little brother. And it just makes it really easy to do what I need to do. Birds of Paradise. Thank you, Seek Nair, for trading the foily birds. I love it. It went right into this deck as soon as I got it. Anyways, these are ways to get Animar out on turn 2. Or 1, depending on my hand. Birds of Paradise. 0/1, flying for green. Tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It's really good. Wild Cantor. Costs a red or a green. You sack it, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Focus, please. Focus. Thank you. Tinderwall. Sacrifice Tinderwall, add pay 0, sacrifice Tinderwall, add 2 red to your mana pool. Play this ability as an interrupt, so sack, add 2 red mana. Or when you block something with Tinderwall, pay a red, sacrifice it to have it deal 2 damage to the creature it blocked. Then we've got Simian and Elvish Spirit Guide. What they do, you remove them from your hand to add a red or a green to your mana pool. I never play them as a creature. Now, Shrieking Drake. Probably the biggest shenanigans in this deck. When it comes into play, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. So you pay a blue. This is when Animar's out. You pay a blue, play it, return it back to its owner's hand. So he's an unsummon in a creature over and over again. So I cast Shrieking Drake, bounce Shrieking Drake back to my hand. I mean, it's just so good. Wingcrafter. This is a new addition too. Soulbound, pair this creature with another creature. As long as it's paired with another creature, both of them have flying. So he always gets paired with Animar, just because. It's good. Then we've got Dawn Shredder Elk. New addition 2, pay green, sacrifice Dawn Shredder Elk, search your library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library for 2. Elvish Visionary. When Elvish Visionary enters the battlefield, draw a card. It's a 1/1 for 2. It's usually a 1/1 for 1 that draws a card. Another new guy. As soon as it focuses, I can show you. Focus. Focus. Anyways, Viridian Emissary. When Viridian Emissary is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land and put it into the battlefield tab, then shuffle your library. So it's just a rampant growth when he dies. Sakura Tribe Elder, rampant growth with a body. Sack it, search your library for a basic land, put that card into play tapped, then shuffle your library. Cloud of Fairies gives me more mana, and I can cycle it if I really don't want it. Phyrexian Revoker. When it enters the battlefield, name non-land card. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated. Jace, the Mind Sculptor, gets beat by a $2 card. Anyways, costs 2. It's a 2/1. Mana War. Same thing as Shrieking Drake, only he costs 3, but I can get him down to the same cost as Shrieking Drake. I'm actually looking for the Judge promo if anybody happens to have it. Eternal Witness, I'm not sure about her. I don't think she's going to stay in, but she enters the battlefield, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. She's a 3-drop for a 2/1. She's not that good in this deck. I don't know. Anyways, Bloodbraid Elf, nice promo here. It's a 4-drop for a 3/2 with haste and cascade. When you cast a spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. So, pretty much just 2 counters on Animar when she comes out. It's good, unless I hit a spell, which I only have like 10 spells in the deck. Solemn, basic, 4-drop for a 2/2. When he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. When Solemn dies, you may draw a card. Phyrexian Metamorph, General Killer, or Sphinx, Consecrated Sphinx Copier. As the battlefield is a copy of an artifact or creature on the battlefield, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Clone General Killer. A copy of any creature on the battlefield. Costs 4. It's 0/0. Mold Shambler. It's a 4 cost for a 3/3, and you can kick it for 2. When Mold Shambler enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, destroy target non-creature permanent. It's really good. Oracle of Moldai, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may play the top card of your library if it's a land card. Cost a 4 to come out. It's really good. And then Brawn. It's a 3/3 4-drop. It's an incarnation with trample as long as it's in your graveyard and you control a forest. Creatures you control have trample. Like I said, not a whole bunch of ways to get Animar trample, but there's ways. Psychosis Crawler, 5-drop for a XX. His power and toughness equal to the number of cards in your hand. Whenever you draw a card, your opponent loses 1 life. So late game, when I combo off and draw my whole deck, everybody loses, except for me. Mercurial Chemister is a way to get Brawn in my graveyard. He's a 5-drop from Return to Ravnica, actually. Pay a blue, draw 2 cards. Pay a blue and tap him and draw 2 cards. Then you pay a red, tap him, discard a card, and it deals damage to target creature equal to the discarded card's converted mana cost. So if I have Brawn in my hand when he's out, Brawn's getting discarded, so I can give my creatures trample. Then we have Zealous Conscripts. Nice, shiny Zealous Conscripts. Anyways, it's got haste. It's a 5-drop. For a 3/3, it's got haste, and when it comes into play, gain control of target permanent until the end of turn. Tap it, untap it, it gains haste until the end of turn. So I can take a land or a planeswalker or something like that. I mean, it's so good. Now, Idric Stomphowler is my artifact removal for creature. He's a 5-drop for a 4/4. When he enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment. He's really good. Then we've got Acidic Slime. It's a 5-drop for a 2/2 with Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. It's really good. Silverglade Elemental. It's a 4/4 for 5, but if Animar has 4 counters, it's a 4/4 for free. Excuse me. Because when it comes into play, search your library for a forest card and put it into play. If you do, shuffle your library. It's really good. And once I get the money to get all the duels and everything for this deck, he's going to be much better than he is now. Garruk's Pack Leader, it's a 5-drop for a 4/4. Whenever another creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Thragtusk, obviously. It's a 5/3 for 5. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 5 life. When Thragtusk leaves the battlefield, put a 3/3 green beast token into play. And now, one of the 2 ways I can play creatures off the top of my library. Play the top card of your library. It's a Magnus of the Future. It costs 3 blue and 2 colorless. And it's a human wizard. You play with the top card of your library revealed, and you may play the top card of your library. It's a 2/3. If you guys have foils of any of the things that I don't have foiled, let me know. Because, I mean, I know I'm not really trading right now, but I can work out a deal with you because I'm trying to foil this out. Anyways, We have Muldrifter. It's a 5-drop for a 2/2 with flying, or you can evoke it for 3. When it enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards. So it's a divination with a body. Duplicate, obviously it's a 6-drop. Imprint, remove target non-token creature from the game. As long as the card is imprinted, duplicate has that card's power, toughness, and creature types. It's still a shapeshifter. So, Primordial Sage. Whenever you play a creature spell, draw a card. And his partner in crime, Soul of Harvest. Sorry, I meant to put those two behind each other. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. So, I mean, one of them is when I play, and one of them is when it enters the battlefield. So it's pretty good. Brutalizer Exarch, Worldly Tutor with a body. Most of the time, it only costs 1. Search enters the battlefield. Choose 1. Search your library for a creature card. Reveal it. Then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it, or put target non-creature permanent on the bottom of its owner's library. Consecrated Sphinx. It's a 6-drop for a 4/6 with flying, and whenever an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2. I drew my whole deck by accident one time because... Sorry about that. Camera stopped. Anyways, Consecrated Sphinx. I accidentally drew my whole deck one time because somebody drew like 20 cards, and it didn't end up well. Then we have a counter on a creature. It's Draining Welk. It's a 6-drop for a 1/1 with flash and flying, and when he comes into play, counter target spell and put X 1/1 counters on Draining Welk, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Garrick's Horde. It's the other way that I can play creatures from the top of my deck. It's a 7-drop for a 7/7 with trample. Play the top card of your library revealed. You may cast the top card of your library if it's a creature card. Regal Force. It's a 7-drop for a 5/5. When it comes into play, draw a card for each green creature you control. Most of the deck is green. Avenger of Zendikar, a 7-drop for a 5/5. When it comes into play, put a 1/1 green plant token into the battlefield for each land you control.
Christmas Harper.
It's my little brother again. With landfall, whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a 1/1 counter on each stupid freaking thing. For each plant, you put a 1/1 counter on each plant you control. Cliff Buddy, stop running back and forth, okay? Thank you. It is an 8-drop, Craterhoof Behemoth, an 8-drop for a 5/5 with haste. When it enters the battlefield, it gives creatures trample, and they get +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. I've played him 5 times in one turn before, and I had like 20 plants out. It was just funny. I killed everybody in an 8-person game. Then Terrastodon, he's a 9/9 for 8. When he enters the battlefield, destroy up to 3 non-creature permanents. For each permanent put into a graveyard this way, its controller puts a 3/3 green elephant into the battlefield. Artisan of Kozilek, it's a 9-drop. When you cast him, return target creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. Annihilator 2, he's a 10/9. Inkwell Leviathan, it's a 9-drop. 7/11 with Island Walk, Trample, and Shroud. Really good. Ninja Taxis, it's a 10-drop. With flash, at the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards, and they have their hand size is nothing. And it's a 5/4. Anyway, Kozilek, Butcher of Truth. It's a 10-drop for a 12/12. When you cast him, draw 4 cards with Annihilator 4. When he's put into the graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. And then the newer part of the deck is World Spineworm. It's a 15/15 for 11. With trample, when it dies, put 3 5/5 green worm tokens into the battlefield with trample, and when it's put into the graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into his owner's library. So yeah, guys, that is my Animar deck. If you want to see what Animar does again, 3-drop for a 1/1. Protection from focus. protection from white and black, and whenever you cast a creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Animar, Soul of Elements. And creatures cost 1 less for each 1/1 counter on Animar. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna be redoing my deck text, probably, and I'm gonna be featuring some of my friends' deck text eventually. I'm not gonna be able to use this camera all the time, but I'm gonna try to use it when I can. When I do pack openings, I'm probably just gonna use my crappy camera because I don't want to use this for everything. But I'll use this for like deck texts and trade binder updates, which I'm not going to be doing for a couple weeks anyway because I'm not really trading right now anyway. But yeah, MTG Extra Fun out.